Hello, this is Sharif from Petrogems, and today we're going to discuss round billion cut diamonds. And if you look at our website, there is a detailed article on how to pick a round cut diamond. So today, what I'm going to do is get a little bit technical and share the best insights on how to pick a well cut round shaped diamond. So round brilliant cut diamonds are the most famous shaped diamonds in the diamond industry today. Roughly about, I would say, 70 to 80% of all diamonds traded, sold today are round shaped diamonds. There was the old days, they had what they called uh, old European um, old European cut diamonds, which had more of a diagram like this and cut pattern like this, whereas the new round-shaped diamonds, the modern unmodified, yeah, you call it unmodified round bullion cut diamonds, look like this, and it usually has 58 facets on the table. So that's how GIA describes them. And if cut well, as you can see, usually if, an excellent cut round diamond would have perfect heart and arrows and beautiful facets like this, as you can see in the image. It's just beautiful. And I would say almost certainly that it's the cut that has the most sparkle. And because it's so well studied, GIA only so far feels comfortable to assign a cut grade to round bullion cut diamonds. It does not assign a cut grade to, let's say, a princess cut diamond. So that's why they feel very comfortable, and it's based on a lot of research. I mean, if you look at some of the articles that they share, they're very precise on how they can come up with a round cut diamond. Um, so what's important? How do you pick a round bullion cut diamond? There are obviously the four C's, which I'll come to later and discuss, like how do you pick the color, how do you discuss the clarity, and then also carat weight. That depends on your budget, really, and then the cut. But I will spend more time on the cut, and then hopefully, because that's I think the hardest to understand. The rest is more or less easier, and it really depends on your budget. So if you come to our article, we have this table which basically discusses what's the best range for a well cut round shaped diamond. And there, here are the ranges that we have shared in terms of what should the table look like, what should the crown angle look like, how should the girdle be, and what the depth should look like, right? Those are very important. Color is important, obviously, and then so is the depth. This depth and table are extremely important. So this is how it looks in the GIA report. When you're opening a GIA report, here is an example of a full GIA report. So in the GIA report, they provide almost all the information. So here is the proportions. Here are the proportions, and then it will also show you the clarity characteristics, to which I'll come later. But in terms of the cut, so this area right here is the table, which is 56 table, right? And this would be the depth. This is the crown, and this is the pavilion angle. And then here you also have the girdle, which is for this one is really great. It's medium to slightly thick, 33.5%. So medium to slightly thick is excellent girdle, and then no cullet, which is excellent, right? And so when you're selecting the cut, like I said, GIA and AGS also has an ideal cut. GIA has a scale of excellent, very good, good, fair, and poor cut, right? And so even in the excellent cut, when you're selecting a GIA stone, there are different ways to tell what's what I would consider, and this we have discussed in our article, a super ideal cut diamond versus an ideal cut diamond. Now, GIA in a recent study said the reason that they assign a excellent cut grade to many stones that might have different proportions is because they found that it doesn't have to be a rigid depth and table or other numbers, that basically you can get the same amount of fire and brilliance by a combination of different mixes instead of having one rigid criteria of certain depth and certain tables. So that's what um, their ranges. For me personally, I feel like if you have somewhere between, let's say, 54 table and then percent table, and then that's where I would look to all the way to, I mean, my favorite is to 58%, um and then in terms of um depth, I would say anywhere between um 59 to 61, 62 would be my most depth, and then the other two very important area which you should look at is this crown angle right here, right? And then the pavilion depth, those are very important. So anywhere between 40 to 41 would be great. And then 34 to 35. So this one, like, I think has a better crown angle and pavilion depth, I feel like. And then this one also has a better girdle. So this, for example, would to me be one of the best super ideal cut diamond. 61.4 depth, 56 table, the crown at 34.5, and then finally the pavilion at 40.6. This is the pavilion angle, right? So this, I think, is a very, very well cut stone. So, and these details are all there in the GIA report. If you know how to read the report, I think you will be fine. And then since now we have covered um, the curtain, again, if you go to the article and just basically follow our instructions here in terms of what to look for in the depth and the table, what is an excellent range, I think you'll be fine. Now, in terms of how do you balance, like how to compromise on what of the four C's, and then also fluorescence, I think it depends, right? And we have discussed fluorescence in a whole different article. I think you should learn about it. It's an important price factor. In terms of the other forces, I always like to balance all forces instead of compromising on one or the other heavily. So, for example, if you have a you have a, let's say, $10,000 budget, what I would do is I would look for something like a 1.5 carat, basically, uh, um, G color, excellent cut diamond, um, and then let's say VS1 clarity, right? That with no fluorescence, right? That would be my my preference. So I would like to balance, and then cut, because cut is important. I usually like to go with excellent cut. If you go with a very good cut, that's entirely fine. You know, you still get a lot of brilliance and fire, but just pay attention when you're going to when you're going with a very good cut. Just be very careful with the issue of depth, okay? Because usually what dealers do is they cut the stones really shallow, like 64, 65 depth, and so it would look very small. The stone would look very small. So if you're buying a very good cut stone, make sure the depth is not too high, and then or they haven't compromised very much on the stone. So that's about it. And then also look at it, or all measurements. That will give you some idea of what to look for in the stone. Again, if you have any questions, reach out. We are here to work with you. And Petrogems, I think, is one of your best bet. Our markup is less than 10%, around 6 to 7%. So give us a try, and I hope this is helpful. Thank you.